Greetings, everybody. So last time we did a refactor, and basically what's happening right now is I'm planning to move on to camera maintenance and then light maintenance and then circle back to this. So I need to make sure I leave this in a good spot so that when we circle back, it can make sense of it. When I was watching yesterday's refactor video, I did see one bug that I had put in, a non-breaking bug um, that it's kind of one of those things where it's like, why does that even work? But basically, on line 56 here, I am setting the ID and I'm calling update mesh before I set the ID. So clearly this isn't working. So then these guys are not even doing anything because this question mark update mesh doesn't exist. So this code never runs. But the default values are all set. So I mean, the values that we're updating to are all default on add. So this would never have shown up until until we were to do an add with something that wasn't a default. But anyway, so I'm going to move that there, and we'll see what happens. Okay, that looks good. And then let's clean up this white space. Additionally, when I created this mesh manager, I was a little bit too crazy, and this setting up the camera makes no sense in the mesh manager. It probably will end up in something called a camera manager, but for now, the only place that makes any sense at all is in the um, um, inside of the um, toolbox. So let me move that back there. Um, I'm going to take this guy and I'm going to take that whole constructor, copy that over here, move this because the mesh list should definitely be there. Okay, so we need to create a new R3JS manager. I'm just going to copy how I did it here with this fancy brand new inject function and do that there, and we're good. And then I'm going to take those responsibilities away from the mesh manager, and boom, and there we go, there we go. Just check to make sure stuff is not, yep, that's good. All right, so now additionally, okay, so it's good. I still have 7 minutes left. Uh, Another issue that we have that I kind of mentioned is that this add mesh is a bit has a future, a sustainable future because it's just doing too much. This form is probably going to get complicated as we get different kinds of meshes and all that. So I'm going to create a setup forms function. And so I'm just going to say this dot setup form, and I'm going to pass it. It looks like we need a mesh item. We need the mesh item, and I think that should do that. I think that should be everything we need. So I'm just going to say setup form, and that accepts a mesh item, which is of type mesh interface. And for now, I'm going to say it returns nothing. And I'm just going to take all of this code here and copy it over into here. Yeah, and I need to get that last slide too. So basically, this is everything that goes into setting up a form. And it is a little bit weird that we're doing the subs. That kind of feels like a side effect. Definitely would make unit testing the setup form a lot harder. And maybe a setup subscriptions might make sense. Probably. Let's just do this. This dot set up subs, and let's see. So we're going to say that this returns a form group. And then const form equals that, and then we'll return the form. And set up subs. Okay, so subs is probably going to be a little bit harder because it needs the form. It needs the mesh. Okay, so this guy's going to get the mesh item and the form. And let's go with this. Set up subs. And then I don't think that needs to return anything, but we'll see. And then mesh item interface form form group, and then we'll just grab all of this. I think there's one other. No, maybe that's it. Boom. And then that's good. Yeah, I think so. I think we are good. Let's see if it works. C3. Yep, that's good. Love it. 1. Yep. So now okay, so now this add mesh makes a lot of sense. It basically creates a mesh. It calls the setup form to set the form up, and that makes sense, I think. And then it sets up the sub. So part of creating a mesh at this level is, one, to set up the mesh item itself and kind of register that with ThreeJS. 2, set up a form so that the UI can do something with it, and then set up the subscriptions so that they can be deleted, basically, and so that the form behaves properly. The complexity, you can definitely predict that the complexity in the setup form is going to get pretty crazy as we add more types of meshes and materials and all that kind of stuff. And setting up the subs is going to get equally complex. So those we might end up creating, like in the future, services or something to sort of isolate that code. The add mesh, I think, is great. On destroy seems to be fine. The constructor, I think, is great. And reset edit ID. I think this all looks good, so we'll save that. Let's go back to their toolbox. I think this all makes sense. You set up the camera. This is definitely destined to be moved into a new component, but this is not the time. Let's see. I don't think our app does anything. Oh, that's our app. Yeah, our app doesn't do anything. All this has is our toolbox and our visualization. And let's look in here. Add mesh seems smart. Update mesh, delete mesh, set up render, attach DOM. So I would think if we were like in an agile environment, this would be the time to probably push, commit, and push, and go in for a PR. Get ready for the PR battles, and then yeah, no, I think we're in a good spot. I think the next thing to do is set up a tabbing so that I can have a place to then start working on the camera admin, which makes a lot of sense. And then camera makes sense to be the next one, and then lighting will be the next one, and then back to meshes at that point, or possibly a very simple animation thing. But yeah, I'm out of time. So yeah, happy coding. This is awesome. Bye.